הריני מקבל, מקבל עלי מצווה עשה של ואהבת לרעך כמוך כמוך הריני מקבל, מקבל עלי מצווה עשה של ואהבת לרעך כמוך כמוך וחברים כל ישראל חברים כל ישראל חברים כל ישראל הריני מקבל עלי חברים כל ישראל חברים כל ישראל חברים כל ישראל הריני מקבל עלי לה 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 רמב"ם 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 מקבל עלי מצווה עשה של ואהבת לרעך כמוך כמוך אוי חברים כל ישראל חברים כל ישראל חברים כל ישראל הריני מקבל עלי bam 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 ay dai dai hareini mekabel alai. B'ezrat Hashem, that nigun should never become something that we're not conscious of its words.
I was going to say just a nigun.
Just a nigun.
After hearing what nigunim are about, I don't think it's
right.
that anymore.
Well, no, a nigun meaning it should just be a nigun with words. The words should always be make this nigun alive, but the meaning of the words should make this nigun alive. All right, so we're wrapping up a piece of what we've been learning the last few days, the last week and a half, and this is the perush. What you have in front of you is the perush on the ma'amar from the perush in the sefer called Be'erach Hasidus. These are these cool cats in Chabad that just sit there and pound away the most beautiful explanations of all the very heavy and deep ma'amarim of the Alter Rebbe and the Tzemach Tzedek, and they've done it on four volumes of the Tanya. They've done it on many different pieces, but it takes what the Rebbes were saying, which we tried to learn just on the surface, and bring it down to where we're at right now. So Lamaisa, what's kind of left a little bit? What's left with? Okay, how do you do this? How do you really put on those lens and see souls, see that chain, and not see separate units? How do you just do it? So we started talking about it a little bit yesterday. Remember, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. How you do it today is going to bring it down in a very, very simple, not hard and difficult, but not confusing at all. So that was huge. You should know, David, my Shlomo Bagadnu today.
I didn't
my
say Shlomo Bagadnu because I'm still Nesach Ashkenaz.
I said yesterday.
But my Tachana was like...
It's okay, you'll do tshuva by Elul. No, it was amazing for me too. I thought about it all day, David, really.
That's awesome. Well, you have to thank the guy who came to watch.
Yeah.
But you brought it down for us.
But you brought it to us. So I thank your wife for the cooking, and I thank you and all of it. All right. So on page 513, we're on the second column, second to bottom paragraph. Okay. So it's v'nimtza. All right. V'nimtza. She'avat Yisrael amitit, the real deal, okay? The real deal, Ahavat Yisrael, tluya behizgalusa shel neshama elokis. It's dependent on the neshama elokis being revealed in the world. Okay, so we all know, basic Tanya. Every person is born with two souls, a godly soul and an animalistic soul. What's the job? What's a person's toiling in this world? Like boxing match, like the Alter Rebbe says in the beginning of Tanya. It's mamish like you're in a boxing match. Constantly. You're always battling between the two. He's saying over here, what would be the animalistic soul? Anything that has to do with tachlis, with gashmis, with our materialism, which comes from the klipa of noga, which is good or bad. Depends what we do with it. What's the nefesh elokis? That place comes from a shoresh that's kulo tov. That's that neshama that we're speaking about. That in that place, each of us is completely one. And even if we're different limbs, we're part of the same body. So he says over here, very simple. You want to know how you really love Yidden? You need to reveal your own nefesh elokit, your own neshama elokit needs to be more revealed in this world. Now, before we look inside here, let's just discuss this. What would you think would be the definition of, or the answer to the question, how do I reveal my godly soul? How do I reveal my godly soul? What do you think would be?
Through maybe acts of chesed and
Okay.
just learning Torah.
Okay. What else?
Mitzvot.
What else?
Awareness, being aware of the reality that we're living in, and being aware of the actual reality that we're living
Consciousness.
in. Yeah.
Being aware. What else? Give me more. How would you say that by doing this, my godly soul is more revealed to myself and to the world?
By doing it.
Natina. So it's really chesed, really out there.
It's certainly we're just the whole topic we're talking about.
Yeah.
Recognizing that we're all interconnected. Because we're saying Hashem put us all here together, but if we're not actually viewing ourselves as being together, then what are we
Yeah.
doing?
Then the korban doesn't go up. The korban doesn't go on the altar.
Maybe
The
that's
tefillah
the
doesn't
most
go
basic
up.
piece. Maybe that's the most basic.
So he says over here, what does this mean to reveal your neshama elokit? Kechol she'adam magbir et hatzura al hachomer. The more that man magbir, which means to accelerate, the tzura al hachomer, umeorer umegale et nafsho elokit ve'et hitkashruto b'Hashem echad. The more you awaken and reveal your nefesh elokit and your hiskashrus to the concept of Hashem echad, כך תגדל ותתגלה יותר אהבתו לכל יהודי באשר הוא. The more that the less that gashmiut, the materialism, plays a role in your life, the less role that it plays, it's not just the more spiritual you get. It's the more that you could look at, when you look at Am Yisrael, that's what you get to see.
You know what I just thought about is we predetermine in our minds, whether we like it or not, it happens, where we think somebody fits in based on how they dress, which is entirely materialistic.
Right?
Because you can look past that. I was davening Mariv last night at the hotel.
Mhm.
Jess and I went down there. And I'm standing at the end of Mariv with a guy who I would swear is Chiloni, except that he's wearing a kippah and he's davening his heart out.
Mm-hmm.
And to my left is a chassid with his son, I think, in a wheelchair. And it's just the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to hold both their hands and start singing and dancing, but I was
Right.
afraid I'd freak the hell out of them, so I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I realized that what was the only thing that was really separating us was our
Levush. So how does a person merit to realize that and not to see that when he looks at them? Right? Look, when I look at them, that's not what I see. I don't see the levush. I see what's going on inside. He says the more that the less that materialism takes a hold of your life, the more that has more of your focus in your life, the natural result is the hitgalut of the nefesh elokit, the revelation of your godly soul, which for the sake of our share means the more that I'll look at people now like that. It's not the way I won't have to. I think what he's saying is like it's not like you have to look at them and be like, okay, now let me try to elevate the sight. It's more the natural way that you're living in the world. Guy walks into a room to see a tzaddik, to see a big Rabbi. The Rebbe doesn't have to be like, okay, now I see what they're looking like. Now let me try to elevate the thoughts and go beyond what I see. He doesn't see what we normally see.
He's already removed.
He's there already.
His Amalek lenses have been removed.
Yeah, it's there. He's wearing Ahavat Yisrael lens, hopefully, you know. So like Reb Shlomo would always talk about, like a guy that comes with a ponytail back from India after being enlightened, but something inside of him said, you know, or maybe even his guru told him, or his swami that he met told him, listen, you're a Jew, right? Your thing is Israel. So he goes to Israel to see where's my spark. He's already a very enlightened person. Gets to Israel, gets to Eretz Yisrael. He goes to check out a yeshiva. And when he's meeting with the Rosh Yeshiva, the first thing the Rosh Yeshiva says to him is, listen, you gotta chop that ponytail off. So what happens at that moment? What happens in that moment? That guy's done. That guy's back. The next plane, he's back in India. Even if he cuts his hair, that's not what's gonna make him, you know, that nefesh elokit continue to be with. Reb Shlomo spoke about this a lot. It pained him so much. But a lot of his own chaver that he would send to yeshivas, pull them out of Haight Ashbury and send them to yeshivas, and he didn't feel like there was really, it's in the early days, there was really a place. Besides Rabbi Goldstein, Alav Shalom, in Diaspora Yeshiva, who was the real pioneer, who would take in all our chaver, the older hippies, and they kept, you know, their long, whatever the externals were for a while, till the need to change that came from within. But when he looked at you, he did not see exactly. He mamish saw the nefesh, he saw the neshamas. Ahava zo hi ahava atzmis. This love is a very internal, personal love. It's love that stems from a place of you're part of me, and I know that I love myself. You're part of me, and I know that I care for myself. I know that I want to be part of this. חלק מהציור קומה של כלל ישראל, ואין זה תלוי כלל במעלותיו ותכונותיו הפרטיות. This love that we're speaking about has very little, has nothing to do with your accomplishments or even characteristic traits. He's not talking about a love like find something common with another Jew and start growing that love together. It has nothing to do with what you have common with them or not. Nothing.
Well, I mean on the material level.
On a characteristic level even. The guy could be completely different from you on every level, right? The best example is take a guy that just made aliyah from, I don't know, from Maryland or from Johannesburg, right? And put him in a room with an Ethiopian elder, right? Come on, what are they going to talk about? There's no language, right? But that's what it is, that both of them, when they're in that place of being, of looking at the world, looking at Yidden like this, there's no need for similarities in order for the love to be there. There's no need. You know, we usually look at, think of people we love. It's usually people that we have a lot of common with. It's usually what it is. That's not the love we're speaking about here. That's not the ahava atzmit that he just referred to, referred to over here. Speaking of, how did it go for you yesterday? Was the love there?
The love was there a lot more. I was a lot more conscious of it, and the feedback was also a lot stronger than I anticipated.
That's wonderful.
It was.
Because they must have sensed it too.
They absolutely did, and
It's
they
amazing.
spoke about it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, now he's going to get a little bit more tachlis into avoda. Uchfi in bottom paragraph. Uchfi shmevar admor zaken betanya perek lamed beis. Like the Alter Rebbe says in the 32nd chapter of Tanya, the most beautiful divine chapter that was ever written in probably any book. The Alter Rebbe says like this: Sheheyos gufo nivze v'nimas be'enav. When a person reaches a place that his body is something that he's completely disgusted by not that he hates his body, but he's completely uninterested in satiating. Is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
Satiating his physical needs. V'chol ikar simchasa, but what makes him really happy is what? Tiyeh simchas hanefesh levada. It's just the simcha of the soul that he really, really is in touch with and that he cares about. He derech yeshara v'kala, the Alter Rebbe says, this is a straight and simple way, lavo liyedei kiyum mitzvahs v'ahavta l'recha kamocha, v'chol nefesh miYisrael l'migodol v'ad katan. Saying this is a very clear and simple way to reach the mitzvah of v'ahavta l'recha kamocha, to any type of Jew. What do you mean, Alter? Alter, why are you saying this? V'ahavta l'recha kamocha should be something that has to do with how much I go and find someone and love them. That's v'ahavta l'recha kamocha. Alter Rebbe is saying, don't think that you could figure this out unless you've made the ikar of your simcha, about what makes you happy in life, the simcha of your soul. So if that's what your focus is, and that's your avoda, and that's what becomes that which is important to you, he's saying that is the easiest way to then get to what? Fulfilling the mitzvah that has to do with something outside of you. But it really has to be something that starts from within.
I think it's not actually outside of you. That's the whole point. Once you tap into this, you realize
It's
we're all
completely
the same.
inside of you. His outside thing, that's right. Very good. No, what were you going to say?
I would think when you're trying to fulfill the mitzvah, you should do it the opposite. That you should try to find at first the most exterior thing in common you build a relationship with. Move slowly
Right.
and deeper until you hit that nerve of just Ahavat Yisrael.
Right.
He's saying, no, skip all of those steps, skip all of the intermediary, just go straight to the root and build up.
So he's defining the root. So what is the root of the work?
Just that they're another yid.
It's not even them yet. What's that?
Deeper than that.
It's even deeper than that.
Yourself because you're
Meaning, okay, so he's saying very good now. So he's saying, okay, so that's a very good thing. We all know that word. The Torah says, "V'avtecha kamocha." You can't love others unless you love yourself. Okay, now what does that mean? So here he's saying what that means. What does it mean to love yourself? When what you really, really care about in life is the simcha sanefesh, is the simcha of your soul. He's saying it as clear as possible. I can't wait to learn together the 32nd chapter of Tanya together. That's where it's all brought down in such a beautiful way. But this is the root work. That, everyone knows before. You can't love somebody else unless you love yourself. But what does it mean to love yourself? So everyone says to accept yourself. I don't buy that.
These are strong words also. I'm doing the Hakdama for Tanya. Maybe this is my Chasidus Mavoros lenses. The Derech Yeshara Kala is that's like, he's saying that's like,
This is the line he uses in the Hakdama to Tanya.
Hakdama is Derech Arucha, or
Sheikh
Arucha, Ksara, or Derech Ksara Arucha.
No, but this is Derech Yeshara.
Right, this is a straight.
This is boom. Root. He's saying, you want to go to the root? Boom. This is the root. He says, look how he continues this, the quoting from the Tanya. When a person reaches a level that his body, there's no desire anymore to satiate himself with physical needs. And that his body itself is something, it's metu'av, I have no interest. I'm disgusted by the fact that I've even been so immersed in so many bodily needs. And then what happens? What's the ikar by me? My godly soul. So in that place that I'm now operating from within, and if someone asks me, who are you? I never say, I'm an accountant, I'm a rabbi, I'm a doctor, I'm anything like that, but rather I say, I'm a really precious gem, I'm a really precious soul. Like if you asked that to someone today, right? And you came to someone and said, what are you? And the person said, well, I'm a very refined soul. So what would you say? What a haughty, cocky, disgusting person, right? But you know what that means? It means you're so much on the outside. Because that's the most humble thing you could say about yourself, right? So he's saying over here that actually once you begin to identify yourself more as a soul, then what happens? And then mitzad nefesh nikru kol Yisrael achim mamash. That's the place where we're called brothers. We're not called brothers hand in hand. We're two bodies. We're brothers. we're brothers inside. Mitzad shoresh nafsham b'Hashem echad. From that place of the root of the soul where Hashem is one. Rak what? Sha'agufim mechulakim. It's just that you have to keep on remembering, it's just the bodies that are divided, that are separate. So again, it's like, what he's saying here is very, top of 514, what he's saying here is very, very important. He's saying now it's basic root work. Because the place that is easiest, that's why he says, there is yeshara v'kala. From that place, what's the easy place he's speaking about? The place where my nefesh elokit is who defines, that's what defines who I am. Let's try it, okay? Yossi, what are you?
I am a selfish, wanting to please myself like person.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a very beautiful definition of your body. Okay, Yossi, who when you uncover that stuff and you get through it, who's there? Who are we gonna meet? Who are you gonna meet? Who are you going to meet?
Oh, you're going to meet someone very inquisitive, hopefully likable. You're going to meet someone who enjoys other people's company and ultimately wants to give more than take.
Wow. Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet
We've
you.
known him all along, though.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you. Now, isn't it amazing that because he said what he said first, so the latter, what he said afterwards didn't come off as like, and anything that you'd be like, Okay, now let's try. Now let's try with someone else, but only give me the second answer, okay? Noah, who are you, bro?
I'm a piece of God.
Shalom Aleichem, I'm a piece of Hashem.
It's a little rough without the Hakdama.
We've done enough Hakdamas already. We've been like 2,000 years of Hakdamas and exiles, so I think it's okay now to say, like, let's skip the intro, let's skip the formalities, right? Okay, I'm coming to you, right? So, my friend, my friend, my dear friend, okay? My dear friend. You can tell me whatever, you could choose now, however you want to start, okay? Now you could choose, giving the table its options open.
Well, I'm only going to go for the positive, and the negative is being right down there, basically. So the positive is, I think, the way I see myself is very, very, very unique still. And even, I continually, even to blow my own mind. I really do. Because I just scratched the surface. After all these years and all these experiences and all these things I've done, because I was thinking about this the other day when I went. I said, here I am again, out of nowhere, plucked up. Why? Well, I was thinking, why that group of 5 guys? And I happen to be one. Why would I be one of them? What do I have to do with it? But no, I'm plugged up to uncover a little bit more of myself, to be able to experience a little bit more of myself, of how much actual love and understanding I have and passion I have for life and for people of all different kinds. Because I don't think we see the thumbnail sketch of really what's going on and really what Israel is all about and the so-called Jewish people is all about. It's so much greater than this myopic thing. And this, for me, my soul just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding. I have more love, more understanding, more passion for life and for people. And that is such a unique thing that I really want to be around long enough to get to know myself better. Because now, after some 40-some years of hacking through the jungle of life, literally hacking through the jungle,
Right.
Finally I'm getting a little enlightenment of who the heck I am. I'm going, wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. this is awesome. Who is this guy? I want to know who this guy is. On a deep, deep level. And I haven't even scratched the surface. So, at this point in my life, on the other side of the hill, I'm not going up the mountain, going down the mountain. Hey man, I want some more time. I want some more time.
You want to live.
I want some more time. Because now, the box is open a little bit. I'm seeing in here. And it hadn't been easy. I mean, it hadn't been easy
Right.
to get to that point where you can open your own soul and you look in it and go, wow, man, this is awesome.
So I have to ask you now,
This is
so
awesome.
what makes you really happy now?
I think what you said, the simcha of the soul. And it isn't one thing.
Right.
It's
Right. No, it's not one thing.
It
No,
could be
no.
anything. I mean, whoever this guy, I can't remember his name, I met him this morning. Just that
Oh,
minute.
little Atkin kid. Yeah, Yonatan. Yeah.
Grab the guy, man, I go, wow, man, this
Yeah.
is great. This is great. The
It's
other
funny,
day-
you're usually like more of a shy character. You came up to the kid, you're like, okay, who are you?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
My whole life, I've been totally
I noticed it this
shy,
morning.
and totally reserved, like, around, never very much on the outside.
Yeah.
Introverted,
Yeah.
person, totally. Now, when the box is starting to open a little bit, I'm just opposite.
Yeah.
Like I grabbed those guys the other day, the fathers,
Yeah.
the Jewish guys.
The Jews'
I
Abbas.
looked in their eyes, they looked in my eyes, I looked in their eyes.
It was
we
there.
had something. Just the fathers I'm talking about.
Both
I think
fathers,
because
yeah.
I was an older guy or whatever, it was different. I clicked with them like,
Yeah.
I'm going to see those guys again.
Yeah.
I'm going to see them again. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
And it was like, maybe I've seen them before. I don't even know.
Right.
But this is all new to me. This is all new to me. Because finally, after all this time, I'm getting a glimpse
Yeah.
of what Hashem created.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind. It really does. It's not about me.
Is it hard?
Sometimes.
It's hard, right?
Sometimes.
I see Laser's learning with us right now. He just chimed in and he said,
This guy is another one.
he said, he wrote, it's hard being infinite and defining ourselves as something unknown.
Very, very much so. Very much so.
Because that place is so, it's almost like someone once gave me a real shtach, real musser. He said to me, you put out those Karabach books? So I was like, thought he would be like, it's really, it's gewalt, right? So he said to me, you think those things are supposed to come down in writing? And you know what? He's also right.
You're the wrong Chal.
He's right. He's also right. He's also right. What do we, And that's the tug war. That's the nefesh elokit is okay if it doesn't come down. It's fine. Keep it up there, right? But when the simcha of the nefesh, like I think, how do you know if you have simcha of the nefesh is if you want to stick around for more. That's what I'm getting from what you're saying. I think that the opposite is really the dark place where you're okay. I've seen enough. I'm ready to go. I have friends that like already in their mid-60s started telling me, I'm okay now. I'm good to go. I could just wrap up. I've seen enough.
Did my bucket list.
Yeah?
Which is why what Tom's
Yeah.
saying, I feel, is what we all should be saying
Every age.
every
Yes.
always.
Yes.
He's going to be singing this tune till 120. I mean, he's just going to be
Bezrat Hashem.
Bezrat Hashem.
Bezrat Hashem. I want to say that at 37. I want my children to say it at 7, I want that to be the simcha of their lives. Like, it's a joy. David Zeller, Elva Shalom, used to sing this song. It goes like this. It's a joy to get to know you. It's a joy. It's an old folk song. It's a joy to get to know you. And I really am liking to share in your world. I always thought that song was like when you meet someone like else. You say, oh, it's a joy to get to know you. And I see that it's really not. It's a joy to get to know you. For most people, it's not true. And yet, unfortunately, it's so painful to get to know you.
I want nothing to do with
I
your
want
world.
nothing to do with your world. Nothing to do with your world.
I want to share
Yeah.
nothing with you.
You gotta hack
But you have to go through,
You have to
yeah.
hack through that because it'll stop you. It'll stop you.
And it
dead.
does.
And you go, that's it.
It done.
No further.
Then I'm okay. And then you say, I'm okay. I'm okay if it ended now.
That's just the way. I don't want to go there, and I'll just be this person out here, and I'll create an identity for myself. But if you hack through it, that's it.
If
That's
you
what
hack
do.
through it.
This learning is defining that song you were saying as getting to know you. Is
It's a
getting
joy to get
yourself,
to know you.
And the world is Hashem's world. It's the Nefesh Elokit.
Well, it's a joy to get to know you is the Nefesh Elokit.
Right. Exactly.
That place. It's a joy to get to know you. Yeah.
It's a joy to get to know everybody else too.
And I really am liking to share in your world. It's gewalt. Doesn't happen that easy. That's not smooth. But the Alter Rebbe does say that is like if that's where you're heading, then Ahavat Yisrael that's right. That's going to show up on your doorstep. That is the work. That's the hard work. That's the hard work. But that is the result. The result is that that's how you put on those glasses that the other Parshan told us yesterday's shir. Like that's the way to put on the lens. You know.
I think it's actually, I'm disagreeing with you a lot today, but I don't think it's putting on the lenses. I think the lenses are always on. I think it's just removing the outer amalek lens.
The same thing. Yeah.
Strip it away.
It's not putting on whatever it is. It probably makes more sense to just strip away that which is really there. Yeah. Whatever it is, whatever you're using now, whatever's here now, not that, right? There were tzaddikim that never looked in the mirror, but if they did, they said, "Oh, Shalom Aleichem." Who are they talking to? Who are they greeting? Shalom Aleichem. You ever do that? Or that second you look in the mirror, all that disgust, all those horrible thoughts start popping up faster than you can even intake it, right? You disgusting, you pathetic, you fake, you cheater. That's not holy at all. And it's definitely not the way to kind the mitzvah of Ahavat Yisrael. There's absolutely no way. So how does this really work? Right? You remember what? It's basically this common thing we keep on coming back to. One good thing about music is when it hits, you feel no pain. You got it, but you're right. It's what you said. You have to go through this. You got to get hit. We could try, and it's like
No happiness without sadness.
So how does the 7-year-old get to this point? How do you even think about that being as a reality?
You put it like, well, if that's what you're showing, meaning if you're showing your child that what makes you happy is simchas hanefesh, so they'll have the tools to deal with their own moment of when they have to go through it.
Where's your chiyus? Right? As you were talking about Shabbos with some chaver thinking about making aliyah. Is your chiyus that nice car and
Right. What's your simchas hanefesh?
I learned this beautiful piece yesterday from the Tivot Shalom that if you're on the high level, you can work from you can go through like a form of bittul. But if you're not there yet, you've got to elevate yourself and then try to get there that way, and then you can.
Well, this is
work
defining
from
like high. This is
high,
taking
but
us
I
to the
think
high place.
For a child, you just need to try to elevate
Right,
them.
right.
Just put them up, show them their
Showing-
prince of Hashem. They're a son of
By
Hashem.
showing that, well, if they're the son, that means if they're a prince, that means you have to be a king.
But also just
Not so
by,
simple.
Just by getting to know, like I said, once you get to know yourself and you start to get to know everybody else that way, so you should be treating your kids that way with that same kind of.
Right.
I want to know who you are.
I wanna know who you are.
Know who you are. And when they
It's very
grow up,
hard,
I wanna
yeah.
know who they are too.
It's interesting what you can do with the younger the kids, the better. The younger the kids, the better.
Yeah.
The older they get, it's more difficult. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So I was at Itamar's house about a month ago, and I was doing something with it. And all the kids were there, and this and that. And they had the computer on, and one of his daughters punches on one of these. I love this Israeli pop stuff. With the music. He had the music going, and he got the 3 little boys in there going crazy all over the house. And I said, "Come on, boys, time to dance. So I just started dancing around the house. Dancing around the house. And I look back and I got all of them. The boys all of a sudden just, that sounds right. That sounds good. That's what we need to do. And we had a ball. We danced for 10 minutes around the house. Now I did that with my boys. I do that every time. I start dancing. I just start, and then I was at a wedding or something. Man, I was having a blast. I was dancing with the guy's father, the girl's father, and they're going, oh, Pops, they can't deal with it. They can't deal with it. I said, come on, you gotta get in. You gotta let it go. You gotta.
Right.
They can't. Because they're too old. I mean, they're not too old, but they're going to have actually jump for themselves.
They're going to
The younger ones, like Ithamar's boys.
Yeah.
And they're not there yet. And it was
let's dance.
Let's do it. And we had a ball. So the littler, I think the younger kids.
The easier it is to tap into Simchas HaNefesh.
Start them out, just have them. Because the older they get.
Yeah.
It's not so easy.
Now let's do this top paragraph over here. Umeidach gisa. Umeidach means and the other, like meidach and the other side, right? Ha'osim gufam ikar, the Alter Rebbe says, v'nafsham tefela, those who make their bodies the ikar, and their nefesh, tafel, meaning secondary. אי אפשר להיות אהבה ואחווה אמיתית ביניהם, אלא התלויה בדבר לבדה. So by those kind of folks, the only kind of love they can have with someone else is ahava shetluya badavar, is love that is dependent on something. Most commonly meaning, it's love that's based on finding, okay, we're the same here, we have these common traits here, right? Then it's like, that's the kind of love we know about, right? So that limits the concept. So it's interesting, but having this ongoing conversation with Cliff, with others, about, is there even such a concept called ahava shetluya badavar? Is that even real love? Or does love in its definition mean that it's not dependent on anything? You hear the question?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's one davar that it is dependent on.
Why?
Which is nefesh elokit. There isn't anything else. That's the one thing we have to have.
No, but that's not tluya. That's just no. When I say ahava shetluya badavar, I mean love that's dependent on something between me and you. Once I'm in the nefesh elokit, I'm operating from there. There's no tluya. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's known.
No, that's exactly right. Because the people I'm closest to, and the people I gravitate toward closer, are the people who require nothing from you.
Right.
It's the whole thing.
Right.
You get relation. You always require something.
Yeah.
You got to fulfill this.
It's
you
yeah.
Gotta supply this.
We don't talk about it, but it's there.
Right. You got to supply this for me, and then we can connect. The people you really connect with, the people who require absolutely
nothing
from you, and you don't require anything from them. You just.
So when you're Simchas HaNefesh is what really makes me happy, and that my soul is what I'm conscious of, and what I'm working on taking care of, and I'm really working on taking care of my soul. So he says there, then you don't fall into traps of conditional love. It's not there. V'nimtza, so we see, shekiyuma shel mitzvah zal, we see from everything we said right now, that to really do this mitzvah of Avas Yisrael, talui, it's dependent on how much asiyas haneshama ikar v'aguf tafel. How much do you make your neshama needs the ikar? Simple, that's all it is. Zeu hayesod lekiyum tzivui haTorah. This is the foundation to keeping of the mitzvah of the Torah. Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha. This is what it boils down to. Again, this thing that we're so worried about, do I love him? How much do I love him? Don't worry about that. That has nothing to do, you don't really know if you love him or not, unless you've figured some things out about yourself. You cannot know how much you really love someone, the real kind of love, the love that's not dependent on anything, unless you've made a decision in your life that I'm going for the soul. It's like we think of it like, whatever, it's part of Yiddishkeit to work on ourselves. No, at a certain point, the person has to get up and say, I'm going for the soul. I'm making that decision. I'm making that, and I'll have to struggle with it all the time, back and forth, but I'm not going to be in this mazing it more of saying, am I really in it or am I not in it? At a certain point, you got to just say, I'm in it. I'm mamish in it. Then and only then, this parish is explaining what the Alter Rebbe is saying, then and only then do you stand a chance for this mitzvah of Ahavat Yisrael.
Because the soul created by Hashem and sent down here to do this mission without the instructions for the mission aren't exactly straightforward. You got to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're living in the soul, then every person, every experience, everything that you encounter is an opportunity to get to. It's sent by Hashem as an opportunity for your soul to become more of what to fulfill its mission. So, like if I come across a person, the body is like, what's this person going to do for me?
Right.
But the soul, if you're living in this, I believe, it is just saying, okay, like, what's going to happen here? Like, I love this because something good is going to happen.
Right.
Something good is going to happen. Otherwise, like, what's the point?
Well, and the definition of good is?
The definition of good is just is. It's not.
You know, it's a soul definition. I'm saying.
The body's definition of good is it's going to make me feel good.
Right.
It's going to whatever.
Right.
But to the soul, the definition of good, I believe, is just learning from the experience. The experience, and I learned something more about myself, and that's what the good is.
Yeah.
But that's scary stuff because a lot of that. I mean, it's happened to me a lot lately, but a lot of that learning about, for me, a lot of those experiences I encounter on a body level are very painful.
Sure.
Because it makes me like aware of either I'm not like clearly my soul is living in a place that's not like anything else.
Right.
Or a lot of times I come across these other souls and others, and I'm like, wow. Like I'm starting to realize that I am even weirder than I thought. Weirder,
right on.
Like I've always felt like not really the same as everyone else. And the more I get into that, the more I realize it's even more pronounced, and it's actually even more pronounced amongst the people who I'm closest with. A majority of the people who I'm the closest with, when I really attempt or try to live in this level that's, okay, I'm traveling through here, like I'm just this soul that's traveling through this physical thing, and if I live in that place, I realize sometimes I just feel really alone. Like really, really alone. And when you go to that place where you feel really alone, I feel like that's the place probably where right now I learn the most. But it's not, not the right now it's not always the happiest place. So I think like the true love would be for me to get to the place where that place where I'm going to is a happy place. Sometimes it is, because then I'm like, oh, it makes me, the happiness comes where I can get to that place and I'm like, you know what? I'm, whatever my soul is and whatever reason I'm down here and all these things are happening, maybe it doesn't feel very good, but that's okay. Like, that's the reason. Like, that's okay part is the part that's like, that I connect with when you're reading this stuff.
Wow.
Like, it's okay.
I think you need to fall in love with who you are when you're by yourself. And then it'll be easier for you to be in love with how everybody else already loves you.
Yeah.
That's hot. That's
why all those people so close to you if you're that weird?
Right. I think clearly that, I mean, I could...
Or you think or you think they must be messed up if they like this dude.
That's just
Right? No, we have a part like they're like, oh, wow.
Right.
You're just as messed up as I. If this is what you're digging, this means that you're crazy.
I don't go to the point where I actually focus on whether people love me or not. That's not, and I hear, the money, and that doesn't really move me. But being okay with the fact that I feel like this is when I go through that, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better because I realize that, hey, Hashem put me here. Maybe Hashem put me around all these people because they're trying to push me to this place,
Right.
and I'm resisting. Right? I don't want to go to that place.
I think it's very important what you're saying. Simchas HaNefesh doesn't mean that I walk around like this. Simchas HaNefesh, I'm so happy, my soul's happy. It's more of when you can say it's okay, that might be the highest definition of Simchas HaNefesh. Right?
Yeah,
That could be what it really means, that the soul's happy. It's not happiness. To define the body's happy, the nefesh bahamis is happiness. When he wins a battle, he's happy, right? I won. That's not the same. That's not the win of the nefesh elokis. The nefesh elokis winning is more a place of, okay, this is okay, this is cool.
Based on
Is work being done?
Work in progress.
Good
Yeah,
with me.
it's good with me. Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
because that's looking at everything from the eternal perspective. If we had
Nachon.
said before,
Nachon.
stepping back and saying a little bit of pain now, as long as it's for the grand scheme.
And remember, Reb Shlomo always said, he said, when you meet someone, just remember, there's a sign that's written on the forehead, you just can't
Work
see
in
it. Work in progress. He kept, he said it in other words, but he said meaning if that's how I'm really, I think what he's saying is Ahavat Yisrael isn't, you start to absolutely love exactly what you see in everyone, right? It's more like you're totally one with everyone because you realize you're a work in progress, they're a work in progress. Like everyone wants to get to somewhere. No one's really happy with where they're at right now. Everyone wants to get somewhere, but Ahavat Yisrael lens perhaps could be this Indian of okay, so you have to love your friend like yourself. Well, wait a second. The real place of loving yourself is when you accept that you're a work in progress. So that means that I have to take that and I throw that on you. I throw it on you. And maybe that's what Reb Nachman means with the Torah of Azamra, is that it's not that you look at a person and you say, I can't see anything bad in them, I'm just focusing on a good point. It means that it's much easier to do a Zamra with this level of, it's not so hard to not focus on their bad points because it's not where they want to be anyway. It's not where they want.
People based off of their aspiration. That's
I'm not even judging. I'm just saying it's the way I'm choosing to look at them.
Which is based off of what they aspire to be, not just where they are.
It's their ratzon. A person, Reb Shlomo said this one time in the middle of a shir in 1977. He's teaching Reb Nachman to the hippies up north in Northern California. He said a person is never where they want to be. A person is what they want to be. A person is what they want to be. A person is defined by their ratzon. So this is Ahavat Yisrael. These are Ahavat Yisrael eyes. We could plug in that either to put on the lens or remove whatever's blocking us, but that's really what it is. Now, if that's true about other people, it's really ask yourself, that in your heart of hearts, what Yossi said, the second thing Yossi said is where he wants to be. The first place is maybe where you identify yourself now. But I'm not gonna look at you like that. Bezrat Hashem. Please God. Kol Adam. L'kav zchus. So judging favorably doesn't only mean I'm sure you meant good when you really messed up. It means no, you probably messed up today and you're gonna mess up tomorrow too. But when you get in touch with your nefesh elokit, you'll come to the place of saying, yeah, okay, it's okay. Kind of what you're, going along the path of what you opened up for us today, David. All right. Can't wait to continue tomorrow. Bezrat Hashem.